Alright guys, first and foremost, I just want to say I do not want to bore you guys. I'm not just going to sit here and blah 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 blah. I'm going to get straight to the point and what you guys need for day one for Warzone 2. I just hope that all these settings I'm about to show you can and will make your gameplay improve and help you be a better player. Let's get right into it. So to start, we're going to go over the quick settings. First, you want to make sure you're on controller or keyboard mouse. That's just preference. Whatever you guys play on, just set it to that. Mouse sensitivity, if you play mouse, you just put your sensitivity. For me, I play on controller, and I feel like 7.7 is a great sense for me. I've been using it all in multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2 so far. This is our preference, so just do it. It feels right for you. I recommend 7.7 or even 6.6. Also, a big thing is make sure your display mode is on full screen exclusive. Do not play on borderless. You will lose frames. You'll get some spikes. Don't play on windowed. Don't play on extended windowed. Just make sure you're playing on full screen exclusive. Personally, I have my brightness at 51. I feel like it's perfect. I can see the trees. I can see people hiding behind trees, hiding behind rocks. I feel like this is a good medium for brightness. I can see everything I need to. So for the FOV, I love playing on 120, even though this is personal preference again. But I like 120 FOV because it gives you the illusion that your gun doesn't have as much visual recoil, and it helps me in my gunfights. So I do recommend 120, but if you cannot see for some reason and it's just hard for you to see enemies and targets from far away, then I recommend putting it on like 100. And guys, remember, for controller players, the higher FOV you have, you lose aim assist. So if you want to maximize your aim assist, I would say play anywhere from 100 to 105. Now getting into the controller settings, as you guys see, I have it on controller. For the edit button layout, I play on tactical. I do have two paddles, even though I only use one, which is for jumping. So I still play tactical so I can slide with my right stick. Even though slide canceling is not in the game anymore, I still find it useful to have my slide on my right stick. Controller vibration, make sure it is off. You do not need it. I feel like, in my personal opinion, that it does make it worse if you have it on, and it could cause you to miss shots. So I recommend just turning it off. Like I said earlier, your horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity is all personal preference. I like 7.7. I think you guys should try it out. But then again, just do whatever feels comfortable for you. My ADS multiplier is 0.80. I don't have 1.0 because I find it way too fast, so I just put it on 0.80 and I feel like it's just perfect for me. Then for multiplier, I have everything the same, all 1.0. I didn't change any of it. I just left it alone because I have 0.80 for my ADS sensitivity multiplier. Vertical aim axis, did not touch anything. Everything is still standard. Your aim down sight behavior, make sure it's on hold. I don't know why someone would put it on toggle. I think everyone has it on hold. It's pretty standard. And then to change zoom, I have it on sprint, tactical sprint, and focus, because I just feel like that's always been the key associated with focusing your weapon. Guys, this is another big one, automatic sprint. I recommend you put it on automatic tactical sprint. If you have it off, that means you have to double click your left stick just to sprint. But if you have automatic tactical sprint on, that means automatically all you have to do is push your left stick forward and your player is automatically going to tactical sprint. It takes so much stress off my thumb, and I find it way easier, and you automatically move quicker around the map. So I do recommend you put this on. My equipment behavior, pretty standard. I have it on hold. Weapon mounting, I haven't touched it. Interact/reload behavior, I have it on tap to reload. This is another big important one, guys. Armor plate behavior, make sure it's apply all, just like we had it in Warzone 1. So this means that instead of having to keep clicking it to apply more plates, you can just click it once and it will apply all. Now for the advanced settings, guys, leave all these alone. Do not touch any of these on top. Scroll down to aiming. This is what I have my aiming settings on, and I feel like this gives me aimbot, guys, literally. Make sure you have it your response curve type on dynamic. Do not have standard or linear. I find dynamic gives me the best stickiness when I'm tracking opponents. So make sure you put dynamic. Leave this on 1.0 like I said earlier. ADS sensitivity transition timing, make sure it's instant. You want to be able to instantly stick and lock onto people so there's no delay on your stick, because obviously you know when you want to aim and transition to somebody, right? You know when you want to track them. So make sure it's instant, so it's instant timing and instant reaction. And then for custom sensitivity per zoom, I have everything on 1.0 besides the 6x to 7x zoom, because if I'm sniping, I do want it to be a little bit quicker so I can snap. But that's all preference as well, but I do like it a little faster than my normal multiplier. Guys, dead zones, I'm running the same thing I did in every Call of Duty. I have mine on 0.05, but this also varies and it depends, because if your controller is a little bit older, you might have a different you might have more stick drift than me. But if you have a new controller or you don't have a controller that's damaged, 0.05 should do the job. Also, guys, for left stick max and right stick max, this is new this year. Make sure it's on 0.99. Like it says on the right, it says it decreases the value to reach maximum input with less physical stick movement. So that means as soon as you press your sticks, it's going to be super sensitive. It's going to happen right away, instant. And you do want that because your fingers never lie and your judgment usually doesn't lie. So it's easier to track people and have that sticky aim. Auto move forward, you never want to have that on, because let's say you're in a building, you're playing tactical, you're creeping up on people, and it automatically is making you move forward. They're going to hear you, and you do not want that. Tactical sprint behavior doesn't matter because remember we have automatic tactical sprint from before. Grounded mantle, I do have it on. I do find this very useful because I feel like, especially in the new Warzone, if you're flanking a team and you know they're on the roof and you could jump from the side and mantle on top, that would be crazy for flanks. So I do recommend you keep this on and don't turn it off, because then you're gonna lose that, you know, that extra edge you could have just by having it on. And then all these other ones are pretty standard. I haven't changed any of these. I just let them all alone. Yeah, then all these are just standard. I haven't touched any of these because I don't think there's any reason to touch them. Now for the graphic settings, I'm not going to talk as much in depth of what is what. This is more of just for you guys to follow along and copy. So I'll explain a little bit as I go, but not that much, because most of it you guys just need to copy and you're going to be fine. So remember, like I said earlier, always play an exclusive that's full screen this year. You do not want to be on anything else besides that. Display monitor, obviously you just pick your monitor that you're playing on. Display adapter, this is your GPU if you're on PC like I am. So this is my GPU. My monitor, 143 hertz or 144 hertz I should say. This is standard, play on 1080. Dynamic resolution is off. VSync gameplay off. VSync menu off. Custom frame rate, I do have 250, 120 and 30. Just copy those. Display gamma 2.2 sRGB. And then brightness we did earlier. And then focus mode is off. Now moving on to quality. Quality presets, I don't have any presets on. Mine is pure custom. Make sure this is on 100 like I said earlier, 1920 by 1080. Your upscaling and sharpening, make sure you put on fidelity CAS. This enhances the sharpness of the image. Make sure you have that. It's easier to see things like I said earlier. And then for the rest of these, just copy these. Guys, and remember, if your computer is bugging out while you're, well, like guys, definitely copy these settings. But let's say your computer is not as good as mine, even though I do not have one of the best computers. Make sure you just lower some of the things. Like, so for instance, this one's on normal. If your computer is pooping the bed and you can't play with it, I just recommend you move everything down one. But pause as you wish. I'm just going to scroll through these so you can see them, because these are very self-explanatory. But this is another big one. Make sure you turn off world motion blur and weapon motion blur. You do not want to have any blur, because that could disrupt your vision, and you do not want that, especially in Warzone. And then film grain, make sure you put it on 0.00. Now moving on to view. Field of view, like I said earlier, 120. Guys, this is another thing. For your field of view, make sure it's unaffected. So for my console players who used to play on console, or PC players now, obviously you guys probably were on a console back then. Affected means that when you zoom in, well, not when you zoom in, when you aim in, your whole screen won't zoom in. But on independent, when you aim in, your whole screen will zoom in like you're on a console, like you're on 80 FOV. So make sure it's unaffected so you keep the same aiming as your FOV when you're running around. Weapon field of view, I had default. Even though some people are playing wide, it messes me up personally. I did try it and I didn't like it, so I just went back to what I know, which is default. Third person field of view, I have it maxed out. The vehicle field of view, I have it on default. And guys, this is another big one. First person camera movement and third person camera movement, make sure you put it on least. You do not want your camera to be moving a lot, so there's no reason to have default or less. Make sure you put it on 50%. This will be huge in big gunfights in my opinion, because you're not going to have all this camera shake going on if you're getting shot at, especially if you're getting shot by many teams, RPGs, grenades. Make sure you put it on 50%. And then these two are standard. I didn't change any of these. Now the audio settings. This is another one that kind of gets tricky when it comes to me explaining it, because everybody's is different. Everyone has a different headset. Everyone has a different monitor. Everyone has their headset at different volumes. So for me, I would say this is perfect. But for you guys, I would say copy what I have, listen to how it sounds, and if you don't like it, just adjust from there. So you just go from the settings that I have and just adjust it. But I do think that home theater gives me the best opportunity to hear footsteps, grenades, anything. I can hear everything with home theater, so I'm not changing it. My master volume is at 60. Music volume, make sure you always turn that off. I feel like there is no need that you need that. Dialogue, some people turn it off, but I love having it maxed out, because sometimes in the game, the computer, the dialogue will say enemy over there, enemy UAV. So it does let you know what's going on. So I recommend you do have the dialogue volume at 100. Effects volume, have it at 80. Hit marker volume, have it at 100. Then for a fact, I know I did not change any of these. These are all standard. So just leave these. Voice chat, obviously, if you don't want to have it on, you can turn it off, but I like having that on. This is going to be pretty cool. This is new this year. You're going to have proximity chat. You're going to have last words, voice chat. I think this is going to be sick. My voice chat volume is 22 because it is so loud this year. I could hear so well that I had to just lower it. Everyone was so loud in my ears. Microphone, I have nvidia broadcast. That's what I'm currently speaking into right now. So make sure you put your mic that you use as your microphone device, so your teammates could hear you, the enemies could hear you, and there would be no problems. And I have my microphone volume at 100 so everyone can hear me pretty clearly. And then on their end, they'll just lower the voice chat volume if I'm too loud. And that's it. All these are still all standard. Besides the hit marker sound effect, I do like classic better, so I changed mine from MW to classic. Last but not least, the interface. Most of this is standard until we get the HUD, and I'm going to explain shortly what I've changed, and I recommend you guys should definitely copy it. It is a necessity. So for these are all standard. I didn't change any of those. I just left it alone. Now getting down to the HUD, like I was saying, mini-map shape, make sure it is on square. When it is on square, you have more visibility of the whole map. As you can see a comparison on the top right, you have the circle, and then you have the square. On the square, you can see a little bit more than you can with the circle. So make sure your map is on square. Horizontal compass, that's at the top. This is good for making callouts to your teammates. And if your teammates are making callouts and you have this off, and they say southeast 93, for example, like it says on the right, you will not know what they're talking about and you will be clueless. Crosshairs, I have it on. I don't know why someone would take it off. I think crosshairs do help me line it up with my opponents, and it's easier for me to land my shots. This is standard. Yeah, most of these are standard, besides what I showed you to change before. Telemetry, standard. Yeah, these are just all standard. These don't really matter. Alright, closing out the video. If you guys enjoyed this, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 22,000 subscribers. Also, if you want to see a best class video, all my best classes that I'll be using in Warzone to get wins, or make some how-to videos, let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments. Yeah, and with that being said, Rehmedy out. Catch you guys. Peace.